Excellency, it's a pleasure receiving you and your delegation.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I'm present in Parliament.
I heard.
But I had to take the time off to receive you and your delegation, and obviously to receive your credentials.
Thank you so much. There's something even more important than the credentials.
Oh.
Congratulating you on the campus. I think
thank you very
that's
much.
Great news.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. I think it's easily one of the most important decisions my government would have taken. And I'm quite sure it augurs well for the development of the people of the sub-region.
Yes, sir.
But certainly a pleasure, having you. And I congratulate you too on your new posting.
Thank you.
And I'm quite sure that you will continue the tradition of those who preceded you and to help to strengthen operations of the UNDP within the region. As you know, we had engaged the services of UNDP to help with the recovery in Barbuda. And a number of the contributions we got from various donor agencies and governments, we would have programmed through the UNDP.
Yes.
So far, the relationship has been a very good one that I think could be replicated in other countries. And we want to thank you for your contribution in executing the recovery work. Obviously, it has been slowed to some extent by the resources that are available. Because as you know, the recovery cost is in the region of $222 million US. And so far, we have only collected about 10% of the recovery cost. So there's just no quick fix to it. In any case, we have been utilizing the very limited resources effectively to rebuild Barbuda and to rebuild it better. And UNDP has been playing a very important role. I know, for example, that there's now a European Union program, a grant of €5 million, which is presently being programmed, as well as the funding for the hospital project. That's $1 million indeed from the government of India. It's reasonably possible because we recognize that there's some anxieties in Barbuda, and rightfully so. People want to be resettled. There's still a number of them in Antigua. They blame the government for the slow recovery, not recognizing that we have limited resources and that, as a consequence of limited resources, it's just going to take time. There's just no quick fix. But we cannot fault them for, agitating for a speedy recovery. And whatever we can do to facilitate them, I'm sure both of us, UNDP as our agents and certainly the government, we are totally committed to expediting the work.
Let me say, I was in the room 2 years ago when you addressed the General Assembly and you shocked the world by, describing Barbuda as barely habitable, describing what had happened. And one of the factors that I retained from that speech was that you had to buy money at 20% or 18%, yes. Whereas other countries can afford to, go into concessional credit facilities at 3% or 0%. And that is also a main difference. I have just been in charge of the entire support to Prime Minister Leone and the recovery of St. Martin, and it was exactly the same affair. St. Martin is treated as a rich country, cannot access public credit, cannot access international finance, and that compounds the difficulties in finding local contractors. So let me assure you of my commitment first to the region, to your country. I intend to come very often if you welcome me here.
You are welcome.
Thank you. I just came back from Barbuda, so I had a look at what we had done so far and what is still to be done. We need to, I think, we need to change tack in terms of the contracting companies that we are working with. We have looked at people who are working on Cocoa Point, Antiguans, mostly Antiguan and Barbudan companies working there. Excellent results. The private sector is happy with them, and we think we have a better set of options to work with to finalize the hospital.
Good.
And then we're going into a program, as you just said, to rehabilitate about 150 houses, 150 homes. So that's going to make a serious impact.
Absolutely.
And yes, sir, I will be based in Barbados, but I'm very much committed to the integrity of my vision. And I am concurrent to your country, but I want to be a little bit more than that. I want to be here often. This is not, by coincidence, the largest program that I have, much larger than the ones in Barbados, followed by Dominica.
Right.
So we are on the path to a full recovery, and I have to say I got a good impression in Barbuda, both of what I heard as an expression towards what you mentioned. They blame the government. Well, they blame UNDP as well, and everything is going slow. But it was a slightly more positive approach to things. Yes, it was like things were happening. There's more economic activity. There's more people coming in the flights and by the ferry. There's more goods coming in. So I had I expected less. Perhaps I had been told a more gruesome story, and the ambience, the atmosphere was actually quite okay.
We have gone as far as sourcing about 25 million EC dollars to transition Barbuda into green energy applications, so that Barbuda now will become the first totally green island, perhaps in the world, powered exclusively by green energy. So that is one of the opportunities that would have arisen out of disaster. The situation in Barbuda will be significantly different. We're attracting investments to Barbuda, two of the largest investments that have come to the island in the last few years. Barbuda Investments, PLH, which has started, and the project for Robert De Niro, which should start shortly. So again, if they're patient, they recognize that Barbuda and Barbudans will be doing significantly better in the near future.
Absolutely.
So we just have to continue to persist, to be committed, which we are, even though they question our commitments from time to time. But when people are experiencing hardships, they question everyone, including God, right? So we understand.
So count us in those who are committed at your side.
Absolutely.
Very much alongside.
Thank you.
Your leadership.
Okay, so Excellency, well, I guess you'll present your thing, and then we have a small token of appreciation for you.
May I do the formal handover?
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.